Good afternoon, and welcome to another office hours training. I am Crystal L. Gunn, your financial strategist, life insurance agent, small business advisor. Let's get to it today. Yesterday we talked, it's Financial Planning Awareness Month. So still circling around that and giving you tips and things for doing that. Yesterday I talked about debt to income ratio, how to calculate it, the importance of keeping it low. And today we want to talk about how to create a debt payoff plan. Straight to the point, quick and easy. And paying off debt, having debt can feel overwhelming. Paying it off can also feel overwhelming, but creating a debt plan, payoff plan, can help you take control of your finances and eliminate debt strategically. Remember, it's always about a strategy. And by following that clear plan, you can reduce stress and work towards your financial freedom. So let's just cover some key points today on how to get this done and how to set up this plan. Again, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Don't overthink it. Don't, you know what I mean? Just get it and dive into it. You probably won't be able to create the plan in one day. If when you're creating this plan, you start to feel your body tensing up, right? Pay attention to the cues that you get from your body. If you start to feel that way, then just back up and come back to it tomorrow, either later in the day or that next day. The goal, though, is to get the plan done and create it and then work the plan, right? So how do we start to create the plan? List all of your debts. You might have to pull out your credit report because you want accurate credit. You want accurate balances. You want inaccurate payments. Sometimes, I pay about, what's the accurate payment, right? Write down all of those debts, including balances, interest rates, and minimum payments. If you are versed enough with Excel spreadsheet or any other type of spreadsheet, do it there, because calculations and all of that is going to wind up being easier as opposed to writing it down. If the only thing that you can do is write it down, then get a notebook and start to write it down and do it that way. But you want to write out all of your debts, including outstanding balances, interest rates, and minimum payments. And I always, because the way that we feel and the way that things make us feel, it's always a great thing to say, pay attention to what your body feels when we're doing a thing, because you're going to know if it's working for you or if it's working against you. So as you're writing out all of those debts and you see what those payments are and those balances, sit with it for a minute and just kind of figure out, how do you feel about all of this? Right? Does it make you feel good? Do you have knots in your stomach? Are you staying awake at night? What is the thing? Sit with that. All right. And then let's continue to create that strategy. So after you've listed all of those things, how do you want to pay them off? Right. And there's, there are payoff methods out there. You can Google debt snowball or debt avalanche. So debt snowball starts with the smallest debt, pays that off. Debt avalanche focuses on the highest interest debt, right? I typically encourage people to do the debt snowball, which means you pay off the smallest debt first. The reason behind that is you get a win relatively quickly, right? If you have, this credit card that has $300 balance, although it may be a $2,500 balance credit card that has a higher interest rate. Paying off that smaller one is going to give you a win and some satisfaction, and you're going to in psychologically it makes a difference with you. So I typically tell people start with the smallest debt first, right? But figure out how you're going to do the thing, which one makes sense to you, and that's the one that you choose, right? Then we want to allocate those extra payments. So you want to make additional payments to the priority debt while paying a minimum on others. So I'm going to say this, start with credit card debt first. Don't worry about the car. Don't worry about the auto. I'm sorry, the home. If you're paying just keep paying those as you've been paying those, but allocate extra payments starting so that you can start with paying off the credit card debt. So understand this is where that financial system of success comes into play, right? That efficient and effective budget, because you need to know how much money you can allocate, right? So you don't want to say, well, I'm going to allocate $100 for this, but you really don't have $100 to allocate. So how are you, you know what I mean? And then you start dipping into savings, or then you just start using other credit cards more. The other thing with this, especially if your balances on your credit cards are high, put them up and don't use them while you're doing this process, because the goal is to get the payments down to zero, right? And once you get a payment down to zero, now you want to assign that credit card a job. It might be your phone bill. The only thing you're paying on that one is your phone bill, and you're paying it off every single month, right? So how much can you allocate for those extra payments, right? And you want to apply that on whatever account you're paying off first. So if you are saying, you know what, I can allocate an extra $50 a month, right? If you have, and you're going to do this, $400 credit card balance. Well, you were already paying $27 a month. That was the minimum payment that you were paying, or whatever minimum payment you were paying. So you may have been paying more than that. So let's say you were paying $30 a month, and now you've said you can allocate this $50 a month. Well, now you're going to pay $80 a month on that credit card. On the other ones, you're still going to make whatever payment you were making normally, right? And then when you finish with that $80, right, then you go to credit card number two. Credit card number two, let's say you were paying $20, again, for easy math. Say you were paying $20 a month on that credit card. Well, now you got the 80 that you're no longer paying on that first one because you've paid that one off. Now it's 80 plus 20. Now you're paying $100 on that one, right? And so again, you can look up debt snowball or debt avalanche, and you will find the examples, and you just follow the example. And then you want to make sure that you're tracking your progress. Monitor your debt reduction regularly and adjust if necessary. When the thing is paid off, adjust it, right? Set this up on automatic payment so that it's something that's happening that you're sending from your bank account to the credit card company. You're not letting them come in and pull from you. You're sending the money to them, but track your progress, monitor your debt. And here's the other thing. Start to pay attention to what your credit scores are, right? Because as you're doing this and as you're paying this debt down, because it's this revolving debt, your credit scores are going to also go up, right? By sticking to your debt payoff plan and adjusting as needed, you can eliminate debt faster and set yourself up for long-term financial success, right? Now, there's a whole lot going on in the universe, in the world, economically, right? Doing this will help put you on track for the things that are coming in the future economically around credit. Okay. So do me a favor. It's the same from yesterday. Think about your current debt, right? When you think about it, what do you feel? Stress, worry, knot in your stomach? Do you get hot and sweaty and oh my God, right? And what are those high debt payments? And I'm specifically at this moment looking for credit card debt, things other than your car payment and your mortgage payment, if you have one. What does having all of that debt do for you financially? how is it hampering you? What is it keeping you from being able to do? Right? Again, when we talk about that 2053 prediction of Blacks having zero wealth, debt is going to play a part in that, right? And being able to eliminate debt, not carry unnecessary debt. And I always talk about credit card being unnecessary debt, understanding that people are using credit cards to supplement right now because the cost of everything is outlandish. Hopefully in 2025, things will be different. Well, they will be different. But how is that debt negatively impacting you? And then what are you going to put in place so that it doesn't become a thing for your children and the generations that follow you, right? This is all part of getting your financial house in order. So what is my favorite thing for today? It is a debt strategy. Again, being able to pay off that debt. We don't want to carry unwanted debt. Yesterday, I talked about how, when you look at your later years and your retirement years, you don't want to have all of this debt, right? Because in a lot of instances, you will be earning less revenue or bringing in less revenue. So you don't want all of this debt. And so credit card, definitely not. And then you'll get to the place where you're like, you know what? I saw a video yesterday on social media, and the guy said, talking about credit, he was wanting to date a young lady, and she was like, your car's too old, you need to get a new car. And he was like, oh, she's simple-minded, right? Or young-minded or something like that. And his reason behind it was, he says, because paid off sounds a whole lot better than brand new, when brand new comes with debt, right? So that debt strategy is my favorite thing. So what are you going to do? Let's create that debt strategy. Create the spreadsheet, right? Go in and create the spreadsheet. Remember what I said. If you start to get frustrated, if you start to get irritated, if you start to, your body starts to tense up, stop and then come back. But the goal is to complete it, right? You may have to complete it in more than one setting. And then determine how much you can allocate and determine which account you're going to start with, right? And then work the plan. Work the plan. Like sometimes we create these things, but then we create the plan and then we don't do the plan. You really and truly have to work the plan. I promise you, if you work the plan, you're going to see movement. There's going to be a shift. You're going to start to want to get rid of this other debt because you see how it's positively impacting you. Work the plan, right? And if this information has been helpful, please subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so that you do not miss an office hours training, right? And then share this information. Don't be the gatekeeper. Also, go back and look at past episodes. We are on episode like 138 or something, 138, 139. Look at these past episodes and see what speaks to you, what you need to watch, and then watch it on replay. But again, also share this information with somebody else. Be a blessing. You don't know what somebody else is in need, what they're looking for, what they're searching for. So be a blessing to someone else and share this information. And also give yourself some grace. There's a whole lot to this financial thing. It's a whole lot. So give yourself some grace. Always keep striving for your next level. Never, ever, ever give up on you, and always invest in you. I promise you it will be the best investment that you will ever make. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Be sure to join me for the private online Q&A immediately following. The link is in the description. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you never miss this opportunity. Thank you again, and I will see you on the other side.